Nation and diversity. Now, generally, what do you mean by nation? Nation is nothing but the country in which we live or which we stay. Right? India is our nation. Correct or no? And what is diversity? Diversity is not living together. Diversity is nothing but the spreading. India is one nation, but all Indians are spread throughout various states. We are divided based on our language, first thing. Like for example, Telangana and Andhra people speak Telugu. So for us, a different state. Similarly, Maharashtra, Marathi language. Tamilians, Tamil language. Okay, Punjab, Punjabi language. People are different based upon their language, based upon their food habits. Our staple food will be mostly rice. If you go to northern state, chapati. If you go to Tamil Nadu, they are experts in making idli and sambar. Different people have different food, what do you say? They have different food habits. Similarly, a dressing style. We dress in different way. If you go to again, Tamil side or Madras side or Chennai side, their dressing style is different. If you go to northern state, dressing style is different. Now we are divided, okay, or we are diversified, or we are scattered throughout our country based on our religion, based on our food habits, based on our language, but we are all one, as one nation, that is India. Here, India is a great nation, and India is the only one nation which has different people, different religion, different caste, different creed as one particular nation. Right? Similarly, here in this particular lesson, nation and diversity, we will be discussing about first lesson, that is my childhood. And this my childhood lesson. Now, why this lesson is there, I will tell you now. In this particular lesson, my childhood, we will be talking about the autobiography. Abdul Kalam has written his autobiography with the title The Wings of Fire. The Wings of the Fire is a book written by Abdul Kalam by himself. If you write it by yourself, it is called as autobiography. If somebody writes, it is called as biography. And what is the biography of autobiography of Sachin Tendulkar? How many of you know? What is the autobiography of Sachin Tendulkar?
Sachin Brigade.
That is the movie.
Sachin Tendulkar.
So the autobiography of Sachin Tendulkar is Play It My Way. Refer the book. Okay. Don't always go for Amazon and some other Netflix here. Okay. As a student, we are supposed to read books to gain knowledge. Okay. And there is nothing more than gaining knowledge. So Wings of Fire is the book that is written by Abdul Kalam, which is his own biography. And from that biography, we are only taking an extract, a small piece of it as my childhood. Now, India is a great nation. We have diversified people from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from the east to west. We have 29 states, different people, different beliefs, different cultures, different way of performing marriages. Christians in one way, Hindus in one way, Muslims in one way. But we all, when we talk about country, we are all united. We don't have, indifferences among us. Do we have it? We don't have it. We don't have it, no? Right. So, my childhood, here Abdul Kalam explains about his childhood memories. Always childhood is the best memory what we have. Okay. If you ask me what is your favorite moment, obviously I'll tell that, when I was in class 10. That was a jovial time for me. So here Abdul Kalam is explaining about his childhood memory. Right. I was born in a middle class family. Abdul Kalam's family is a middle class family. It's not rich or richer or richest, or it's not poorer or poorest. Okay. It's a middle class family. Like most of us are in middle class family. Yes or no? We are not that rich. Maybe some of you maybe. But Abdul Kalam's family is a middle class family, and they live in a town called as Rameswaram. Rameswaram is the birthplace of Abdul Kalam, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Right? the missile man of India, the president of India, a man with the vision of 2020 is Mr. Abdul Kalam. And he being a Muslim, had very good friends from Hindu community. We'll go on, we'll see what kind of attachment or friendship he had with the Hindu friends. So Rameswaram is a island. What is island? Island is something which is surrounded four sides by water. People are calling it. Island is a place where it is completely four sides surrounded by water. And in the Rameswaram town, okay, and Rameswaram in the Estavile means older name. Where Rameswaram is present is Madras state. Rameswaram is in Madras state. Right now Madras is nothing but Chennai or Tamil Nadu. Okay. Old name is Madras, the contemporary name is Chennai. Father's name is Jainulabdin. What was his father's name? Jainulabdin. And Jainulabdin was a person who had neither formal education nor wealth. What do you mean by this? Jainulabdin neither had formal education nor wealth. Means, one of you can tell me.
He don't have any money or he don't have a proper education.
Right. He was not having a regular education. Now this is formal education. The place where you come to school, attend classes with the help of teachers and go. Informal education means what you know? To distance mode. Teacher will be somewhere, you will be somewhere, you will be connected to books. Distance learning. How many of you know distance learning? You will not go to school. You will just purchase the books, sit in the house and read and write your exams. Or through correspondence. It is also called as distance or correspondence or informal education. Where you don't have regular schooling, where children come together, sit together, listen to classes, understand what teachers are explaining. That is formal education. So he was not having a regular education, at the same time he was not having any money or wealth. No paisa, no good education. But one thing was despite these disadvantages, not having education is an advantage or disadvantage? It is obviously disadvantage. And along with education, if you don't have even money also, it's one more disadvantage. So though these two major disadvantages are there with Jainulabdin, that is the father of Abdul Kalam, he was very good at one thing. He possessed great innate wisdom. What do you mean by innate? How many of you can tell me what do you mean by innate? Innate means what? Okay. Formal means regular education. What do you mean by innate? Okay. Innate means something which you acquire or which you gain through your birth. Okay. Something which is instinct also. Innate means by birth. Now I will tell you. By birth, you acquire something from your parents. What do you acquire? You may acquire the knowledge from your parents. If father is having great knowledge, it may even come to you. Similarly, the facial expressions, okay, the gestures, okay, your facial features resemble either your father or mother. So they are coming through birth, and you also develop some immunity also. Okay, immunity also comes through birth. Anything which comes through birth, it is called as innate. So by birth, what Jainulabdin was having, he was having innate wisdom and true generosity of spirit. Two things he was having. What is the one thing? What was he having? He was having wisdom, innate wisdom. What do you mean by innate wisdom? At the same time, what do you mean by knowledge? Now you have to tell me the meaning. I will give you 30 seconds time. What do you mean by knowledge and what do you mean by wisdom? Okay. No. 30 seconds done. So now listen. You are attending a class. You are listening something. Okay. You are gaining something. What you gain by reading books or observing the society, and what you learn, that will be called as knowledge. Knowledge comes through learning or through observation. Now you are learning English or you are learning mathematics or science. So this is how are you getting it? By reading or by learning. That's knowledge. And what is wisdom? Wisdom is something which is already there in you. The knowledge which is already existing in you. Knowledge is Gnanam. Wisdom is Viveka. Now how should I put it in a right term to make you understand very clearly? That I'll give you an example. A science teacher told you that knife is a simple machine or a simple tool which is used to cut vegetables or fruits. What knowledge are you getting from that? Knife is a simple tool which is used for cutting vegetables. So that is nothing but acquiring knowledge. And what is wisdom, you know? Wisdom is not using this knife to cut somebody's throat or to kill somebody. Teacher gave the knowledge that knife is used to cut only vegetables. If you misuse it, then you are not having wisdom. So how to use it properly, that is called as wisdom. So by birth, Abdul Kalam was having innate wisdom and great generosity. Great generosity. Great generosity means what? You know, helping nature, kindness, treating everybody as equal. That generosity was there. The kind-hearted nature was existing in Jainuddin, the father of Abdul Kalam. Okay? He had an ideal helpmate in my mother. Ideal means best. Not ideal, ideal. Okay? Idea, ideal, ideal. Okay? Ideal is best. Ideal means lazy. You are, someone says that you are an idle fellow, one who doesn't do any work. And idea is a thought. So many things are there now. So ideal means best. Who? Abdul Kalam's mother or Jainuddin's wife, she is a ideal helpmate. The wife is supporting the husband, in every task of the husband. So if wife is supporting the husband in a better way, then she will be called as ideal soulmate. Okay? Or a proper good life partner. Now, luckily through God's grace, Abdul Kalam's father has got a better wife. Okay? And what's her name? Okay? Aishi Amma. Aishi Amma is the mother of Abdul Kalam and Jainuddin is the father of Abdul Kalam. Abdul Kalam's father was not having formal education, but he was having innate wisdom and also generosity, great kindness. Similarly, Abdul Kalam's mother is an ideal helpmate to his father. If wife is not good, the husband cannot manage his work. Yes or no? You might have seen in your families. There should be always cooperation between the wife and the husband. That kind of good rapport, relation, bondage or coordination is there between Abdul Kalam's father and mother. Right? Fine. I do not recall the exact number of people she fed every day. Now see the kindness or generosity now. Abdul Kalam's father is not a rich person. Abdul Kalam's father is not having wealth, neither wealth nor knowledge or not schooling he had. He's not having money, he's not having knowledge. But see the great generosity of these people is that every day with whatever money they have, with whatever food they have, they used to feed the people who pass their way. From their colony or from their street, if anybody passes their way and says that I am hungry or I need something to eat, immediately they used to feed the people. So that is called as humbleness. Okay. Nowadays people are so greedy that they wanted to keep everything for themselves only. Okay, they don't even dare. If though they have lakhs of rupees of money, they show unwillingness or they are very reluctant to help the people who are in need. And these people don't even have proper wealth, but still they have a helping hand. They are a great example for a helping hand. Mother Teresa said one thing, helping hands are better than praying lips. Oh God, please, I pray that everybody should get good food. Praying is okay. But with prayer it will not work out. You need to show that into action. So that helping nature was there in the Aishi Amma and Jainuddin. Abdul Kalam sometimes he cannot exactly tell how many people they are feeding per day. Some day one day 10 people, one day 20 people, with whatever they have. They don't have lavishness. Okay, they don't go for cozy life or they don't go for luxurious life. What they feel is that we are humans, we have to have humanity, we have to help the people who are in need. This is what Abdul Kalam's parents are. But I am quite certain that far more outsiders ate with us, all the members of our family put together. So when they were sitting for dinner or lunch time, apart from the family members, the outsiders number will be more. That means the other people, okay, were offered food from this family. It's a good thing or not?
Yes.
Now, are we offering food to other people? If somebody comes in front of the entrance of our house for begging, alms means begging for food and everything. We throw 1 rupee coin or 2 rupee coin. If you are a little bit generous, you will give something food of the overnight whatever is left. That's our nature. These are not like that. Along with their family members, they used to make them sit and offer lunch. Such was the generosity of Abdul Kalam's father and mother. And unfortunately, such kind of people are not there in the present generation. We only become lavish, we become selfish, we become greedy. Everything should be mine only. Okay? That's not the thing. I was one of the children, a short boy with rather undistinguished looks. Now, Abdul Kalam's physical appearance when he was a young boy. I was one of the children, a short boy. He's not very tall, short. Pottodu is gattodu. All short people are, they have great IQ levels. Even Abdul Kalam was like that. With rather undistinguished looks. Undistinguished looks means not very interesting. I mean, if you look at Abdul Kalam, he doesn't look very attractive, or he doesn't look like a handsome boy. He was just normal. Okay, the color is not very attractive, and the facial expressions or features are not very attractive. So that's the meaning of with rather undistinguished looks, not very interesting or not very attractive. Nowadays, we only go for physical beauty, not for mental beauty. That's the wrong thing. We should see the attitude of a person, we should see the behavior of a person, not the physical appearance of a person. Abdul Kalam, he himself admitted that I'm not a great person, I don't look great. Okay? Born to tall and handsome parents. Father is tall, mother also is tall, and they were attractive. Father, mother is attractive, but son is not attractive. No issue, right? Yeah. We lived in our ancestral house. Ancestral house means which has come from their great grandparents, right? Which was built in the middle of the 19th century, somewhere in the middle of 19th century, 1930 or whatever. It was a fairly large Pakka house. House was Pakka house. I mean, good roofing was there, good space was there. The house was a splendid house, made of limestone and brick. Limestone is Sunamrai and bricks. So good house. On the Mosque Street in Rameshwaram. Now Rameshwaram itself says that this itself says that Rameshwaram is a place where there is a Rama temple, according to Hindu religion. And in the Rameshwaram place, there is one street by name Mosque Street. I mean, the street name is given because it is having a masjid or a mosque. Right? My austere father, austere means what? Simple. Okay? He looks very simple. Now, few people, t-shirts with some kind of cutouts, torn jeans, and some kind of different hat. Sometimes he wear Ray-Ban glasses or something like that. But he was very simple. Okay? Very simple in his appearance. Father used to avoid all inessential comforts. No comforts in life. Only basic amenities. What are the basic amenities? Proper food, proper clothes, proper shelter, and good education. Beyond that, if you have a sofa set, if you have 50-inch TV, if you have a refrigerator, if you have a home theater, all these things are not essential things. They are lavish things. And we also tend to have lavish things, no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
You tend to have a smartphone at this age only, which is not actually required. You tend to have a bike also. I don't know how much if you are forcing your parents to get a bike. So this is lavish. But see the humbleness of Abdul Kalam's family. Abdul Kalam father provided them good food, good shelter, good clothing, and the right kind of education. And Zainul Abidin used to avoid all the things which are treated as comfort. No comfort things accepted in the family. And luxuries. No luxuries also. Sleep. Okay. A cot is there, you have to sleep. So, Dad, I want some mattresses, sleep well or something like that. If those things are said, earn it. If you want, earn it. But don't depend on somebody else. Such was his nature. However, all necessities were provided for us in terms of food, medicine, clothes. But food is provided, clothes are provided, even health is also provided. In fact, I would say mine was a secure childhood. Secure means what? Very safe childhood. Abdul Kalam is not exposed to mobiles when he was a young boy or a teenager. Abdul Kalam was not having a fashionable life, going with friends, roaming with friends. People who are simple only will become great here. People who act like great will become nothing in their life in the future. And now if you say that, sir, I have personal phone, sir, I have a bike, sir. What all these things? You are not reflected with what you have. You are reflected with the kind of behavior and knowledge what you have. That's more important. Secure childhood, very safe childhood, both materially and emotionally. Materially means related to money. Related to money means father gave good education, good medicine, good clothing, good shelter. And emotionally means very loving family. All are emotionally attached. No disrespect, no ill treating in the family. Everybody are treated equally in the family of Abdul Kalam. Okay? Now, let's see the next one. The Second World War broke out in 1939. Okay? Second World War. And at that time, Abdul Kalam was only 8 years old. What was his age? 8 years. For reasons I have never been able to understand, there is a sudden demand for tamarind seeds erected. All of a sudden, okay, there was a hike, or there was a hike, or there was a demand. All of a sudden there was the demand for the tamarind seeds increased. Why did the demand for tamarind seeds increase? Still there? We'll stop. We'll see tomorrow. Thank you.